Hey, what's going on, guys? Tyler Redmond here with TylerRedmond.com. I wanted to come at you today with a quick topic, and that is how to do a three-way validation call as an upline leader. You know, we've talked about three-way calls several times on my live streams, on my blog, on my website, and they're very crucial to your network marketing business, and they help you validate the opportunity for your prospect. And it allows an expert, quote unquote, to answer their questions for them. And it's a psychology thing for your prospects because one relationship removed from you allows them to see that person as an expert. So we've talked about how to do those as a consultant, as a distributor, but how do you do a three-way call as an upline leader? Pretty simple. You just want to make sure that whenever they request, your downline consultant requests for you to be available for a call, make sure you're available. Answer the phone the first time that they call. And then if your downline consultant does it right, they will introduce you to their prospect, and they're going to build you up, and they're also going to build up their prospect to you. And then they're going to introduce you, and they're going to mute their phone, and they're never going to talk again until the end of the phone call. And so what I like to do, how I usually handle three-way calls as a leader is I like to introduce myself, tell them a little bit about myself, where I live, how long I've been in the business, all that kind of stuff. And then I ask them to tell me a little bit about them so I know about them, what they do, where they live, how big their family is, kind of what motivates them. And then I say something like, well, downline consultant X has just told me that, that you've been able to take a look at our opportunity, and I heard you had some questions. And then from that point, I literally answer all of their questions or address their concerns. And it could be 45 minutes, could be an hour, could be an hour and a half. That's one of the longest three-way calls I've ever had was an hour and a half. You just answer their questions until they have no more concerns or questions to talk about. And you can kind of see that the conversation is kind of wrapping up and they're kind of done talking. At that point, what you want to do is, as the leader, you want to ask for a decision. And it's not like, hey, what do you think? Do you want to join us in business? Do you want to be a customer? Nothing like that. You want to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. You say something to the effect of, based on the information that you see and the questions that you've been able to get answered, where do you see yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, never call me again, you guys are going to jail, I'm not interested in this business. And 10 being, shut up so I can sign up right now. And then they're going to categorize themselves. If they're a 1, 2, or 3, maybe a 1 or 2, I always like to say, I appreciate you taking the time. Obviously, you're not interested. Would you mind doing downline consultant X a favor and becoming their customer, enrolling in the service, saving on blah, 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 whatever the product is, would you mind being their customer? If they're at 8, 9, or 10, I always like to say, hey, welcome into the business. Congratulations. I'm happy to work with you. Make sure you have my phone number and call me for anything that you need. If they're anywhere between a 3 and a 7, that's kind of in the maybe category. And what you want to do as the leader is give some options for their next exposure. Because people take on average anywhere from 3 to 8 exposures to get involved in a business or to make a purchase. And so the goal is to go from exposure to exposure without loss of enthusiasm. So my job as the leader is to set up the next exposure. So I'll say something like, hey, we have a business presentation in your area on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. I'd like to extend an invitation your way. We'd love to have you. You can come out, hear the opportunity in a little bit different way, shake some hands, meet some people. Or it may be, hey, we have a conference call coming up tomorrow night at 9. I want to extend an invitation for you to be on that call. All you got to do is call in and listen. You can hear a little bit about our team atmosphere and how we do training because you're in business for yourself, not by yourself. Something like that. Or we're having a training on Saturday I want you to come to. Whatever that is, you need to lay out a few options for that prospect to be able to be at the next exposure. And then you're done. I mean, you're basically done as the leader. You're going to get off the phone. And then that consultant or that distributor or that downline consultant that you have should set up that next exposure, schedule that next exposure with that prospect based on one of the options that you have laid out before them. So that's it, guys. Very simple. One thing I would caution you, make sure that you have some tenure under your belt. In my company, I like to say have promoted at least twice in the company before you start doing three-way calls as a leader. You want to make sure you know how to answer the questions and know how to answer the concerns. The worst thing you can do if a question comes up that you don't know the answer to is lie to them and make it seem like you know the answer when you don't. Don't be afraid to tell them you don't know the answer, but you're going to find out for them. People will respect you more for that than just trying to make something up on the spot. So I hope this brought you some value, guys. If it did, make sure you share it out to somebody on your team, or maybe comment their name below and react to the video. I'd really appreciate that. I want to make sure you guys have a copy of my free resource called The 7 Deadly Sins of Network Marketing and How to Avoid Them. I want to make sure that you guys know what to avoid while building your network marketing business. Go to tylerredmond.com/7 sins to get you a free copy of that, about a 20-minute read. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. If you have any additional questions, reach out to me or drop them in the comments below.